We just had a 2-week break, so we're back with some great guests getting us back into the swing of things. How are you guys doing?
Great. So
We're
happy to
doing
be
great.
here.
We're glad to have you. So for anyone any listeners out there who is not familiar with you guys, how would you introduce yourself?
Laurel and Hardy of the we're the shaman and the showman. One of us is an empath, clairvoyant, history, the real, the reason why we're in the field we are. The other one is the blabber, the showman, the one who talks a lot and tries to entertain and sort of serves as the yin and yang of this team that puts on conventions and does paranormal investigations and just has a lot of fun with things that are not always explainable.
That's that we started this podcast because like we were saying earlier is in Japan, and you've said you've been here, Charles, for 6 months. Here in Japan, the paranormal's not a very well known thing. It's a taboo thing.
Right. When I was there, it was part of my music world. It was really before I was in the paranormal scenario. And it was a case of, had I been as aware and as tuned in as I am now, I would have tried to do a deeper dive and visit places that were, hurt by the war, places where there was bloodshed and where there was, a lot of loss of lives, because that's where you'll find a lot of residual energy and maybe people and spirits who haven't crossed over.
Yeah.
But people say, oh, Gettysburg or New England are the most haunted places in the world. But yet, if you'll talk to people anywhere, they've had that experience. There's no place that doesn't have its share of hauntings and experiences and, incredible occurrences.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
You're right.
I tell people that all the time that I think I've had more experiences here in Japan than I have in the US.
Wow.
But that's just me. And I also know a lot of people who are like you who said, "Yeah, I was in Japan for a couple years myself. Unfortunately, I wasn't in paranormal, and now I wish I was back then because that'd be so interesting to where I'm at now in a paranormal and what I'm able to do and go back and be able to use that in Japan."
The only thing really weird about Japan is spirits will come into your face and they don't care whether it's daytime or nighttime. They'll come at you right here and say, "Yeah, what are you gonna do about it?" I said, "Get out of here." Yeah,
Yeah,
you
have to.
Yeah, and they don't care whether it's daytime or nighttime. I think they're more active during the daytime here.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
because they don't realize that it's nighttime here. That's why they're getting mixed up with the time zones.
Yeah.
well, that's the thing is most people are awake during the day, so their shell's gone, their spirit's still there. Why wouldn't they still be around that time of what they know? So
the only place that gets haunted at nighttime a lot is the train stations.
Mm-hmm. That's because they're active at night. They're active at night.
Yeah.
You can still got people moving in and out. The trains don't really stop per se. So
they do stop at 3 a.m. in the morning, but it's usually the final train that comes in usually is haunted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and that's about 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's apparently you don't go out you don't catch that train that night. But if you have to get home, you got no choice, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So between midnight and 5 a.m. is when taxis have 20% more. They cost like at least 20% more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you really have to plan on making sure you hit that last train, or you're paying a lot more for a taxi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taxis drivers don't want to deal with people that have had too many spirits in their system. So,
no, they don't want to deal with too many people who drank at night.
Well, same time, they also know that they're the only way you're getting home. So they're like,
Yeah.
well, I can charge more.
Well, that's true too. Yeah. They just want to be dealing with here we go. They don't want to deal with the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
No.
So what got you guys into the paranormal?
Probably for me, I've been an empath pretty much my whole life. It doesn't just come or go, you know. It's always with you. I didn't know what it was growing up. I just thought I was a weird kid and feel sad all of a sudden, feel mad all of us. Just never knew what it was, and pick up on things and perceive things. And I met Ed and Lorraine Warren for a chance meeting, and Lorraine really helped me understand what I was, and I had to develop it over years and all that. And I got to the point, been doing this for 40 years now, and able to pick up on things, but I'm able to turn it on or off now. So that way I don't overwhelm myself. And Charles and I have always talked about this, especially with a lot of the events we do, because we get a lot of people that come in. So I have to prepare myself mentally for a big crowd. And but gotten good at it over the years. So I'm a little more normal than I used to be, but I'm still a glorious weirdo. So that's like my main thing. So
I'm still trying to learn how to turn it on and off. I still get really anxious in large crowds.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yep. Takes a while. So it's hard practice.
Irene hates leaving the house because she's the spirits too, and they're like, they don't leave me alone.
Oh yeah, and that's why. And when an ambulance go by, I know what's in it. I know if it's gonna live, and I know if it's gonna die too. I said, "Geez, I don't like this." I said, "Why do I have to do this?" Like, nope.
It's a calling.
It's so hard, and basically, I turn it off when I want to, but it stays on all the time for me. It's just some different situation.
Yeah, you got to work on it. You got to work on it a little more meditating, a little more trying to turn that theta wave off that goes on in your brain. That falling asleep and waking up is how you pick up on these things. So being able to try and bring your brain out of that. Well, yeah, that's exactly when it's going on. So but
it's like,
But Charles got a pretty good story how he got into the paranormal. So
well, so I'm really late in the game. I started off being more of a horror guy. I have 2 books out. The first one was a book of horror lists, a book with mostly horror movies and monsters. And my second book was True Ghost Stories of Connecticut, which is kind of parallel to my life of growing up loving monster movies and horror stuff, and everything from Frankenstein to Godzilla or Godzilla. And I guess it was late in life that I really became part of the paranormal world. But I had a paranormal experience in college, which I'd forgotten about until I got until I got very engrossed in the paranormal world. And with Tom and I going out now, it brings back memories that I've actually had of paranormal experiences, and it's just it's opened up my eyes. I was always the one as the shaman and the showman. The showman was the one who was the non-believer. I was the skeptic. I was the one who would scoff and play off that it was all light. But when we go out and we do explorations or we do events, we have a major convention coming up. It just hits us in the face so much that there's no rational, no scientific, no reason aside from this stuff is the real deal. And so I don't want to say I've been converted, but I think my eyes have opened up to the reality of so much of this.
Yeah, that happened with. I think sometimes a lot of people in paranormal, it kind of hits you eventually, and that's whether it's young or old or it hits you younger. You're too afraid. With me, it started with me when I was younger. But I grew up as a Baptist minister's daughter. So I grew up with, and this is also why Irene's helping me, is I was gifted when I was younger, but I turned it off and I shoved it away and I refused to have it because to them, if you're gifted, you must be either doing witchcraft or you did something to summon a demon, or you have to have a demon attachment, or you're possessed. And being a young kid,
Yes.
being a young kid, especially when they were strict with me, and the only thing I knew about witchcraft was the Hocus Pocus movie. I was like, I'm not doing that.
Salem, Mass.
Yes, and I'm just like, I'm not doing witchcraft. I never summoned anything. I didn't do anything, but it's just it got scary. So finally when I got older, I think after a while, if you're gifted, they're like, no, you can't hide it forever. And I started learning more about the paranormal, and now that I've stepped away from the church, I learned not everything's a demon. Not everything is scary. Not everything wants to hurt me. And I was like, I wish I could go back to help younger me, because I'm always so curious. What you're saying, you wish you're remembering past experiences. I remember things as a kid. I'm like, man, I wish I could go back now to that moment and see what it really was. Because I'm like, I don't even know if everything in that house, because I grew up, that house was also haunted.
Wow.
I can't tell you if it was what it was, or if it was something scary or not, or something that was evil or malevolent or anything like that. I'm like, I was a scared kid because that's what I was taught. Everything's scary.
Wow.
So I'm like, I wish I could go back and help me, because I'm curious now if everything was as scary as what it seems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that growing up in that environment, it was probably so foreboding that you probably denied your own feelings and experiences. Whereas if you could go back to talk to your old self, you would explain that it was a gift and it was something not to hide or be ashamed of. Yeah. Right.
And that's why I say I always wish I could go back and help younger me.
Right.
I have so many more questions on experiences I had as a child. Now that I got more into it, learned more, I'm like, man, I really wish I would have seen what that was. Because I was a scared child. Like, I really wish I could.
A lot of people don't know this, but you could still help yourself out as a younger child. But with yourself now. It's a little theory I have. I like to call it a time travel theory, where you go back to that moment and what you know now. Mm-hmm. And that helps you in the now from what you learned then. You have that way of doing it. But what I wanted to say was, a lot of people don't know is when you're born till the age of 7, your brain waves are what's called theta wave. Mm-hmm. So theta wave is that falling asleep, waking up. And that's why a lot of kids see more than anybody else, or have the imaginary friend that's actually there, those types of things. But when you get to that age of 7, that's when critical thinking comes in. That's when your religious parents say that's not real, it's witchcraft, all this other stuff, and then you block it away. Everybody has the ability. It's like riding a bicycle. You have to teach that muscle. So everybody has it in different ways. Some people it's like baseball. There's some people that are really good at baseball, some people that are not too bad at baseball, but everybody has it. It's all about practice. Yeah. Practicing your craft for the good, for the higher good and all that. So, you're still able to do that. Yeah, you missed out as a younger child, but yeah, you discovered it now. And you could go back to that time and know that you missed, but you could teach yourself now what you missed and catch up. So.
Yeah, I don't know if the same spirits are in that house either. A lot of people say, why don't you go back to the house and find out? I'm like, because I don't know who lives there. I'm not going to knock on some random person's door and be like, hey, can I see if it's still haunted?
Was that house in the States or was it in Japan?
It was in the States. It was back up in Michigan. So I'm like, I couldn't. Okay. I could never go up, go back, be in the States, go to that house, knock on the door and be like, I just want to see what's haunted.
Yeah, you have a better chance of being able to do that in the States than I guess from what you guys describe in Japan. So,
Oh, they would shut the door in our face.
They'll say, you're crazy. Get out of here before I call the police.
Oh, my Lord.
I know I'm wacky. Okay. I know I'm crazy.
the paranormal is a taboo here in Japan.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like witchcraft back in the day, where it's not spoken about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any like issues? You know, do people get accused of stuff, and does things go to court or anything like that there in Japan?
No, you get thrown in, like you get thrown in Bellevue, like you,
Yeah.
like that's why I keep my mouth shut. I just don't
Wow.
tell anybody what I do.
Yeah.
There's only 3 people that I know that knows what I do, and that's about as well as I'm gonna keep it, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know, my kids are all
You got more people now.
Well, I
my
mean, in real life.
My
Yeah.
kids
We are in
are
real
all
life.
my kids are all empaths, okay?
Okay.
From the top to the bottom. And one doesn't want to deal with it. The other one was kind of like, nah, not gonna deal with it anymore. And my youngest one, yeah, I like to learn more.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's a mixture of everything. But yeah, it's just.
Irene, what's your family lineage? How far back does that go? Did your family?
Oh, you have to tell
before
him
you?
about you have to tell him about the family shrine you just seen.
Yeah, because sometimes it's that silver lining that keeps you guys together. It's that ancestral connection.
Oh,
That's why a lot of you have it. I'm not saying
Okay.
whatever traumas your family had in the past to have that spidey sense, we call it, to be able to pick up on those things. That's usually what happens from theory and from what we've seen. But
I got blue-blooded me, okay?
yeah.
So the prince and princess of Japan,
Mhm.
that's part of my ancestors.
Yeah.
And I go to this shrine every year, or I try to.
She just
It's a
recently
Shinto,
posted pictures on the Spooky Japan podcast
Yeah.
page of the
it's a Shinto
family
shrine.
shrine.
Yeah. And Kamakura has a lot of battles back when,
Mhm.
where they were fighting against who's going to be shogun and who's going to kill the shogun by killing the people around them.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of there's a tunnel that has what was it, 24 men who killed themselves in the tunnel. They cut open their gut in the tunnel, and you can't get in there. They blocked it off. But I said, dang, I want to go there, right?
Yeah.
It's not too far away from the shrine. There's a lot of haunted beaches there.
Mhm.
Kamakura is like, this side is the ocean, this is the mountain, and that's where it is. It's right on top of the mountain, the shrine. And like it looks like a step pyramid. Okay.
That's interesting.
If you look up Paranormal Japan, which is my group, I have a picture of the shrine there. Yeah. And it's my family's shrine. My ancestors made it.
But it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting the idea of the steps that shape a pyramid.
And
Pyramids
how
are
did
known
they
to harness that energy and all that.
And how did they get these big, huge wooden logs up the mountain? Right? The mountain's here, and the ocean's, the Pacific Ocean's right there.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of Buddhist statues. Ofuna is another place where the goddess, Buddhist goddess, looks over the ocean. So she protects the ocean. And a lot of people from Taiwan come to Japan, go there and pray. And it's just, it's a mixture of pain, suffering, and praying to the God. So I think they resurrected that shrine because there's a lot of fighting. There's a lot of battles.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of dead samurai warriors on the beaches, and some pictures that you take can be haunted. So, and they're like cut from here up, right? So you can see from here up, and they don't have here down anymore. So
wow,
it's pretty crazy haunted, and that's why I go there every year to pray. And when I was sleeping in the hotel, I was sleeping, and one night before morning. I think it was about 4 o'clock in the morning. I said, "Hi, I'm Benjamin." Who's Benjamin, right? I said, "What?" And I said, "What are you doing in my sleep?" He goes, "Oh, I was killed." I go, "Where were you killed?" He goes, "Yeah, I was killed by a samurai because I raped a woman." I go, "What?" I said, "Okay, let me go back to bed, please." I woke up like I had I had 3/4 full of alcohol. I woke up and I said, "Man," I said, "I can't go back to bed." And I tried to get some sleep afterwards. I didn't. I went back to bed again, but I said, "Jeez," and that whole area I know is haunted, right? So, ooh, it's not doing this, not doing this, not doing this. I told my husband, and he goes, "What?" I go, "Yeah." This was way back in the Edo era when samurai were walking around, and I said, "You're kidding." He goes, "No." But yeah, that was. And every time I go sleep in a hotel, I went to one in Hiroshima, and the lady came up. She goes, "Hi." I go, "Yeah, hi, yeah, and what?" She goes, "I just came by to say hi to you." I go, "That's fine." Then we go back to bed. It's like, ooh.
So I see you guys do the podcast together. Have you guys ever met up in person before? Or?
Not yet. We'd have to. One of us would have to take an airplane to each other.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know. I forget how far things are apart.
She lives on
geography.
I lived on the mainland.
See, Charles and I lucked out because I could drive 30 minutes and be at his house. So
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Like she'd either take a bullet train or take an airplane.
Right.
I would take a bullet train. That's cool. Just down at 3 in the morning.
It'd be cheaper to it's cheaper to take an airplane than a bullet train, though.
Really? That's interesting.
Bullet trains are the most expensive form of travel here.
Yeah.
Really?
$700.
Wow. That's crazy.
Because we looked into it for Osaka, and then we compared the amount it would take to go from Osaka with bullet train, regular train, or airplane. We found a flight was the cheapest. So we're like, okay.
You can get a flight to Kyushu Island where she lives for less than $70.
Yeah.
One way.
Don't you wish there was just a portal you could walk through and be there?
Oh yeah, but you see,
we're waiting on that to happen.
Adam, buddy, it's my buddy Adam.
Adam.
Yes, the historian ghost hunter. You guys should have him on the show one time.
He's one of my favorite people on this planet and on any planet.
Yeah.
Where she lives, the bullet train goes under the Pacific Ocean, okay?
Yeah.
It goes under the ocean and comes back up again. You can drive too. You can take a car. You can go under. They have a road where you can go underground under the ocean and come back.
Under the ocean?
Yeah.
Wow. There it is. Adam knows. It's coming up. The big one.
Yeah. So I'm sure they don't have paracons in Japan. There's no like paranormal conventions.
We wish they did, and some people asked us if we would ever have one. I'm just like, it would just be me and Irene to show up. So I'm like, so whenever me and Irene meet up in person, we're gonna take a picture and put Paracon 2024 Japan. Like, that's it.
Oh my lord, that's terrible. You guys gotta get over here and
we wish
have
you
fun
could
with all those weirdos.
Nah. We're having kind of like a Paracon, aren't we, in October, right, Amanda?
Yeah. We have some people coming from the States to Japan, so yeah, we're all gonna meet up.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
that's gonna be Paracon 2024 Japan with special guests from the States.
Nice. Well, that's still cool.
They're all bunking at my house.
There you go. You getting that all set up, Irene? You got the triple bunks or something like that? Everybody stay over?
No, everyone sleeps on the floor, okay? You like it or not?
Yeah. Adam's bucket list is the suicide forest we talked about. So.
Well, we're going in October. You want to come?
Yeah. We'll put Adam on a flight. He'll come to you. There'll be another
So
guest from
ironically,
the
with
States.
so we always talk about the suicide forest, obviously, and one thing people don't realize is not the whole forest is haunted, only part of
No.
it.
Yeah.
Because I've seen videos from locals. Because obviously, with me, I get videos and TikToks and other videos from both states and Japan, and I see a lot of people in Japan. They go to the forest, and obviously some of it, and Irene will tell you, some of it, like the bad part, you don't see any bugs, you don't hear any birds. Trees might grow different ways. It's just you don't really hear anything, and it just has that creepy feel.
Yeah.
And you said 5 lakes that are pure black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fujigoko, it's called.
And there's also another part of that forest where it's the exact opposite, where people have taken videos and they're like, yeah, this is over in this section, it's the most peaceful hike you will ever see. So it's complete opposites in one little forest there. And they're like if you ever go down this path and you come to a T, you don't go down this one because that leads to the bad part of the forest. You want to go down this one, you stay in the good part of the forest.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny that over here, people buy these things when they have mosquitoes in their backyard and all that. Mm-hmm. It's this little machine. It runs on frequency. Mm-hmm. And these frequencies put it out, and it keeps all the mosquitoes away. So you're talking about this forest, and here in our area, we have a place called Dudleytown, where it seems like all the animals, all the insects stay out of this negative area. But I think the spirits there are giving off such a frequency that it keeps all that stuff away. And we just don't realize it. So, but
there's another part.
I like when the mosquitoes don't come near me.
Oh, they don't come either. I spread coffee grounds on my garden, so they don't come around on my side.
One just got me, guys. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's because you're sweet. They like your,
you got good blood. That's why.
They like your sweetness, Charlie.
There's another part of Japan that I'm taking Amanda and all of my friends from America is the Suicide Waterfall. It's called Keonutaki. And after the war, when Japan lost to America, a lot of people climbed the waterfall and jumped into it and committed suicide.
Wow.
That's why I call it Suicide Waterfall.
And that's why I told her I'm more curious to see how they're going to react to me than her. I mean, if you commit suicide because you don't like the fact you lost a war to Americans, and also an American comes over in your area, I'm like, I'm pretty sure they're going to not take to me as well as they would you.
You know what I'm interested in, Amanda? What brought you over to Japan?
Husband's in the Navy, so we're here with the Navy.
That's what I thought. I thought there was, I picked up on maybe a military connection or anything.
Sometimes you can hear the boats in the background because we had the Nespo Bay right behind our apartment. So sometimes out of nowhere you'll hear like the boat go off, and I'm like, I can't control the boats, guys. Sorry, I can't call the Navy and be like, yo.
That's okay. We're in Connecticut. We're in the submarine capital of the world. Historically, back during the when we were trying to fight for our freedom from Britain, there was a gentleman from Connecticut that invented the first submarine called the Turtle. And unfortunately, it didn't make it to the battle, but also the first nuclear sub was started here in Connecticut. So Connecticut's known as the submarine capital of the world. All this stuff that you see now really started here. So that's why our state's pretty crazy. But, I tell you, it's some crazy stuff, with military. But Irene, where are you born and raised there in Japan?
No, I was born and raised in Canada.
Okay. For when I first heard you talking, you know what I felt? I felt like you had Hawaiian descent. Almost. I don't know why. It's just when I hear you talk, you almost talk like a native Hawaiian. So, how you speak English. So. Yeah.
I have to translate everything back into English in my head. I've been here too long, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all good. But
But yeah, I love Hawaii too.
Yeah.
I've been there so many times you won't believe it.
Now that place is haunted too, so that's very.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ever been to Pearl Harbor?
Yes. Yep. I think when I was on the monument, I never heard so much reverence of silence on a place ever. I have a video of it, and all you can hear is the wind blowing back and forth. And there's about 100 people on the monument at one time, and it was probably one of the most top 10 profound moments I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
And I could feel the spirits of everybody there.
Yeah.
People before, just it was amazing. But those are those moments, those are experiences that we have. Like Charles and I have those experiences. We purvey that to everybody that we do these events for. Why we have these Paracons, so people could see some of the people that had a lot of experience, whether you're new to it, whether you've been around for a while. They get to witness some of these people. Like we have a lot of people that have been on TV shows. Not that that's the biggest thing ever, but when people have those experiences and they're able to teach people about them, it's profound. And having these Paracons I've talked about before is like you guys. You can't go around Japan talking about what you love. So we provide these Paracons so people like you could come and be able to talk about all the weird stuff you love and be in a safe place, and nobody's going to judge you.
Yeah,
so that's why it's important that we do the things that we do. So
that's why we create this podcast, to let everyone else out there know. If you can't talk about it, we understand.
Yeah,
we can relate, and we're here for you. Like whatever if it's either a culture thing, or if it's a family thing, or if it's one of those. I'm professional. I don't feel like people in my real life can't know about it.
Yeah,
I'm like, we understand, so it's okay. We're that safe place.
Yeah, and just with everybody, watching your show right now and all that, and in that area, I don't know, just get on an airplane if you want. Get on an airplane, come and see us. We're here for you. I don't think you can take the bullet train to us, but at least you can.
I'm sure one day.
Just make sure if you're on that bullet train, make sure it's not at 3 a.m. You want to be on the haunted bullet train. It's probably even more expensive, right?
Oh gosh. Come to think of it, when you talked about the silence of Pearl Harbor, I nearly got pulled in the water.
Yeah. Did you smell the oil? I could still smell the oil.
I didn't smell anything, okay? I just remember getting in a trance and going like this. Yeah. they're doing this.
Well, it is one of my gifts is I could smell things.
Yeah.
And I smelled the oil. I smelled the blood that was shed.
Yeah.
And that's what made it so profound for me. Even now, there's certain smells that remind me of, past loved ones and stuff. And I could smell it. I know they're there around me.
Yeah.
And, it's just one of the gifts that I have. It's
I didn't come into my gifts till later on. So back then, I could see freaky things, but I really didn't tune into it till I became an adult. Then I said, "Okay."
What was the moment, Irene? Did anything traumatic happen in your life at the time where you realized that something was going on?
I got possessed twice, and when I lived in a suicide condo, and afterwards, the second time, I could say, "Yeah, you should go. You should kill yourself." I said, "I'm not gonna kill myself, so you can forget about it, right?" And I said, and my husband said, "We gotta move." And I said, "Okay, we're moving." Finally, when we moved, I came back and I started hearing things over again, and I started using my gifts more and more. Yeah. It's either you live with your gifts or you die. One of the two. Pick your choice.
Yeah.
So I'd rather live with my gifts instead.
That's what I always tell people, that you have to take control of what you fear and make fear go away, and then everything will go away. You have to be in control of who you are, control your house,
Yeah.
Take control of all that. And again, Charles and I, when we do events, we teach people that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I think for us, it's important that they have a good time. Because Charles is the showman, he makes sure they have a good time. And maybe in the shaman, I like people to tune in and get a grasp of who they are and that there are things out there.
Yeah.
Not to be afraid of it. If I could take the fear away, I could help people. And that's what we do. And that's why a lot of people enjoy the events that we have.
Yeah.
I think that's what keeps them coming back every year. And with the Paracon coming up, that's like huge. And we're doing some new stuff this year. So we keep layering it. And as we learn from all of the people that come and what they're looking for, we layer it so they can learn more and more and have more experiences and provide that stuff. So, you know, July 20th and 21st, that's the big Paracon coming up. That's our big summer festival that we have every year. And it's in a town called Stratford, Connecticut. It's at a place called the Baldwin Center. And, you know, there's a lot of history in Stratford with witches and things like that. One of our good friends who's been in the paranormal for many years, he's the nephew of the Warrens. John Zappis is a native of Stratford, Connecticut. So there's a lot of history there. There's a lot of those types of people and just a lot of energy in that area. And I think with the festival that we have coming up, the Paracon, that energy is going to be brought there with the vendors, with the special guests. Charles being the showman and me being the shaman and just giving everything we got to make it a safe place for people to enjoy the weirdness that there is and what's out there and have their questions answered when they go table to table, whether they're talking to one of the psychic mediums that's there at their table. It's an amazing event. And anybody listening, I know you guys are a little further away, but hey, jump on a plane. I don't care. You got time. You got time. We'll get as many people there as possible. And we'd love to see you. Give you a big hug. You know, sign whatever you want. You know, Charles got books to sell and he'll sign them and all that. And what better thing to meet the author, to meet the people that have been doing it for a long time, you know?
Yeah, it's all about sharing and networking. You know, just because we're, you know, doing a Spooky Japan podcast, someone might be watching who will then tell somebody in New England or in New York or on the East Coast, and they'll spread the word and say, wow, did you know that this, you know, great event is happening July 20th and 21st in Connecticut? No, I didn't know about it. You never know how people hear about things. And the more we get the word out, you know, Adam Bagan, who checked in before, has his own historically haunted network, and he's one of our guests. And it's just like a laundry list of all these amazing people who have been on, you know, ghost hunter type shows, and people who are mediums and, as Tom mentioned, are just, you know, great contributors to the event. So there's something for everyone. And if you're you know, whether you're a student of the occult, whether you're experienced or just a novice, you want to learn, it works for everybody, the convention.
Exactly.
Irene, do you see the two people with Charles? Maybe
Yeah.
does?
Yeah.
You mean Bela Lugosi and Frankenstein and Hannibal?
Well, I mean actual ghosts, not the I'm going to see cardboard cutouts behind you.
Yeah.
Where? Around me or in the room or?
In the room.
Yeah.
Wow. What do they look like? Tell me about them.
So give her some time. So.
Hold on. You also have a Japanese person in your room too. Eh? どうしたの?
こんばんは。
なぜ泣くの? 泣かなくていいから教えてください。なんで名前? うん、わかった。いいよ、心配しなくていいから。 大丈夫。安心しろ。悲しくなくていいから。大丈夫。誰も怒れないからね。わかった。いいよ。天国行けな。窓開けてあげる。いってらっしゃい。さよなら。
She just said goodbye to one of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
神と祈ってください。この人が天国行かせてあげるから、許してください。悪いことしないようにする。ありがとうございます。はい。さようなら。Okay. One's gone. The other one is still there. Could it be a relative of you? I don't know.
It is, Irene.
Yeah.
It is a relative of his that I sense. I didn't sense the Japanese person that you picked up on, but I don't know if something transferred to him while we were talking because we're on this podcast. And
or was it something that followed him?
Yeah, because you were in Japan for 6 months.
Yeah.
But did something follow you? I don't know. But Irene, I'm surprised you haven't picked up on everybody around me.
I know they're
He's
there.
like, I'm getting to you.
I have a feast of people around me.
I know. And that's why I was looking sideways every time I would look at.
Because I could sense that you're picking up on. Because for me, being a healer and being I call myself a healer. Some people refer to me as a shaman, but I like more to call it a healer. And it seems like anytime I heal somebody, they're so grateful that they stay with me to help for the next time around. My ancestors follow me around. Can I tell you a little story? Let me tell you a little story. I was at my normal job, and a woman had her young daughter there. And the daughter was staring at me, but over my shoulder. And I asked her mom, does your daughter pick up on people? And she said, yes, because I could tell, because she's seeing all the people around me, because she's looking over my shoulder at everybody around me. So, and I understand that, and I know they're around me, and, nothing around me is bad. They're there to help. And like I said before, anything I do to heal anybody, it's the people that are around me that assist me. The higher power that works through me has a conduit to help other people so they can heal just like I might have helped them over the years. And they're grateful for it, and they assist me. So I'll never say I don't have an ego when it comes to that. I think once your ego gets in a way, you're away from spirit.
Yeah.
And you can't help these people make the decision if they want to be here or if they want to leave. So
exactly.
Charles has seen it. I think some of the stuff that he's experienced with us together, I think that's what changed his perspective, but it also changed his perspective about fear and being afraid of what we do. So,
right. Very true.
It's important as a duo, and for us when we do these events, for people to learn that, not the stuff they see on TV that everything's a demon, stuff like that.
No,
we want to teach them the right way.
Yeah.
And learn that, and learn from these other people that we bring into our events that are very well versed too. So it's incredible. And I'm Irene, I know that Charles has people at his house because we've talked about it before, and I always pick up on it. I'm sure we don't talk about it because it is what it is. Your family never leaves you.
Tell me about the non-Japanese person who's with me.
Yeah.
Please.
He's laughing.
Yeah.
He's laughing now. He goes, ha 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 ha. Go ahead and tell.
So, Charles, just so you know, it's your dad. So,
yeah. He's wearing.
I've always felt your. I don't know what it is. What was your relationship with your dad? We never really talked about it. So.
Oh, incredible. Yeah. Yeah.
He's watching over you like a guardian angel.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. So I would have thought that it was my best friend who would have been the one laughing. That's what I would have thought. But that's interesting. It's my dad. That's very comforting. That's good to know.
Yeah, but I feel it's your dad. But there are times that your friend does come to you.
Yeah, he does. He comes in and out.
Right now.
He comes in and out. He's saying, your friend is saying, I don't want to scare you. I don't want to alarm you, because sometimes people get the wrong idea about spirits coming in and out. So he's there by your side, but he'll come in and out every once in a while.
After we lost him, I literally would dream about him once a week, and it was always him saying, "Oh no, I'm not really dead. That was just a practical joke."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is he comes to you in those times.
Yeah.
When there's familiarity,
mm-hmm.
when you're doing things that you guys used to love to do, and he's there still experiencing it. That's when he comes through. Mm-hmm. But your dad hasn't left you. He's always around you. So.
Yeah. He's right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Amazing.
Was he buried in a suit?
I think he was. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's showing me. He's saying, "See, this is my suit."
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Is he in that suit now? Yeah. Yeah.
Because he likes that suit. He said, "I like this suit. This is my favorite." He's saying.
Wow.
He's saying, "I like this fit. This is my favorite suit. See? See? Don't I look good?"
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
I'm waiting for him to adjust his hair like you do, Charles. Make sure.
Yeah, like he's yeah, he's like,
yeah. Oh my God, that's you can't. When love is there, it never leaves you. It's always around you, and just the personality. And Charles and I, we've known each other for a little bit. I really don't bring it up that much, but I think with what's going on, what we're talking about right now, is it comes in and out for me, and you know that.
Mm-hmm.
And I love you like a brother, and I think at this moment, I don't know what's going on right now in your brain, but I think sometimes that's stuff you need. You need to hear that message, So, and that's why I'm glad that Irene has pushed this. It seems like when two people that are sensitive get together, it becomes a little more powerful.
Did he have darker hair?
Up on those things. The what?
Did he have darker hair?
He did. Yeah.
Okay.
Pitch black.
I saw him I see someone with pitch black. He kind of puts his head in like, I'm here, but I don't want to be in the way.
Yeah.
I was like, is that him or is that some?
Yeah. And your friend comes to you, especially if you're like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Like, oh, my head, oh my God. Like he comes to you when you're really distressed.
Yeah.
And he feels like, hey man, you're okay. Just relax, take a breath, and just calm down. You'll be fine. Kind of like attitude.
Wow.
And that's when I text Charles, what's going on?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's times that I tell you, I'll text Charles just on a whim,
Josh, who has the lost child? Is it, which one, Thomas or Charles? Joshua is also clairvoyant.
Joshua's also, he's my partner.
Yeah.
One of my children are at the fireworks tonight, and I don't know. He might got lost, but no, I don't.
No lost children. My 4 kids are, as far as I know, are pretty much where they need to be.
Joshua, you might be picking up on me because I lost 4.
Wow.
Yeah, they weren't even born yet.
Yeah.
I couldn't keep them in my stomach, so Neil. Yeah,
that's no good.
But I have 3 now.
There you go.
That was meant to be. That was meant to be.
Yeah.
And
every time my other son would go to church, he said, "I want a brother," and he goes, and up comes, and I get pregnant again. He goes, "I want a sister." No, I said, up comes the sister. I said, "I want another brother." I said, "Stop it!" I said, "Stop it!" Every time you do that, something I get pregnant. They go, "Stop." No, when we go to church this time, don't say anything, please. He goes, "Okay, I won't."
Right. So Josh is saying he's feeling restricted or confined. Are you feeling that personally, or are you feeling that with one of us as we talk? So.
Oh, I feel a really interesting kind of like, I don't know. It's more like confused or in a dilemma with Charles. Something is really bothering him.
Yeah, mentally. I want to make sure we have enough people who attend the Paracon.
Yeah, exactly. There's Danny Perez, baby.
So I got to share with you guys
that Mr. Radical. He's one of our guests too. So.
One of the friend who I was thinking of, his name is Danny.
Wow.
And then Danny,
come on,
And then this Danny pops on. Wow.
No such thing as a coincidence, my friends.
It might be you then, Irene.
That's radical, man.
Yes, exactly. Danny Radical Perez. Yeah. That is awesome. So
interesting.
Thomas, have you ever spoken with? And I know Irene did when we had him on the show. Matthew's aunt.
Matthew
with I can't think of his last name, with Dark Echoes.
Yeah, I'm actually on his TV show.
Yeah, have you spoke to his aunt?
Yeah, Matt is a great dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say
he's very creative. Yeah, he's very creative, and I am actually a featured investigator on his show. I'm not one of the psychic mediums on the show, but I do pick up on energies, and I use equipment. And I think that's, with me, what I do, and the other investigator that's going to be featured too is very scientific. So we have this different correlation and all that. So it's going to be pretty amazing. I saw the
announcement made that you were on the show. So I feel like I can bring it up since the announcement was already made.
Yeah.
That you're on Dark Echoes season 2 on Paraflix. And
I did 2 episodes I did 2 episodes in season 1. We'll see how those get edited out, but there's still a few episodes left of season 1. Then we filmed season 2, episode 1, but we have stopped filming, so we're in hiatus until about January, where we're going to start filming again. So, but we got to catch up. Matt's got a lot of editing to do and get some stuff out there. Paraflix, Paraflix first, and then when it runs its course on Paraflix, then it goes over to Amazon Prime, and then season 2 might be on another major streaming service, but I won't say what it is yet. So it's still up in the air, but it's going to be pretty epic. But I think with me doing the show, Charles has done quite a few horror movies and all that. So we've had our time on the air, and we bring that experience, and sometimes that draws people into our events just to come and see and meet us and ask us about it. So anything that we could do to bring the paranormal or the horror movies and all those things for everybody to have, again, like that safe space to talk about it. Mm-hmm. That's what we do, and that's what drives us. We want to make people happy. That's just our nature. So, and that's why people enjoy when they come to our events, because we have that joy for it. It's not just, oh, I'm just going to do this. No, we love it, and we convey that love to everybody that comes, and Charles is always at the door welcoming everybody and thanking them for coming. And where else are you going to go and get that? So it's a world-class event. So
Charles, have you been here through Obon?
Say again.
Obon. Have you been?
Never to Obon.
Ew.
Tell me why.
Too bad. My birthday is when we celebrate Obon. Obon is a festival where we allow our dead relatives to come home and heal.
Their Day of the Dead.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. Day of the Dead, Festival of Dead. I've experienced that on some of my trips to Romania. The day after Halloween, it's celebrated throughout the country, and people have beautiful get-togethers in the cemeteries and bring candles and share both the living space and their space together. Yeah. Wow.
It's Obon in Tokyo is July 16th, my birthday. We go to the plots. We clean the plots with water, and we bring offerings of food, and you can eat with your dead person, with your dead relative.
Yeah.
It's the most haunted month.
Oh my gosh. July 16th is my wife's birthday.
Wow.
And
that's a connection. So
wow.
It's the worst month. My son hates it. He hates it because he sees everything when they come to him, and he doesn't like it. And he says,
why wouldn't he like? I think it's the most important thing as us as we live, and the people that have passed before us. It's proven your loved ones will never leave you.
No.
Here, I don't know how they do it over there, but we have hospice care.
Yeah.
When people are about to pass away, and what I've talked about before, theta wave. When you're about to pass away, you're in that theta wave. You're in that dreamlike state, and you're open.
Yeah.
And your loved ones are able to come through and help guide you on that journey. They're there. That's why, us as humans see it going on, and it looks horrible that somebody's dying. But in the spirit world, it's the most peaceful thing. And that's how we have to look at it. But they never leave you. And hospice nurses will always tell you they're there. They're there. And when we don't believe in stuff, now this isn't going on. But our loved ones will never leave us, whether we believe it or not. So they're there.
We have hospice too in Japan. It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But where Amanda lives, Obon is celebrated August 24th, 25th, and 26th.
Wow.
And
that's why we have to do our Paracon in Japan, Charles.
Yeah.
So we'll have to do it then. Lauren!
Wow.
We got the whole fam there. We got Danny and Lauren on the show right now. Two of my favorite peeps in the world. So
amazing.
Do you guys know Danny and Lauren Perez?
No.
No.
They're the Radicals. They actually curate. They have their own museum where they collect haunted objects. But they help people that have, exorcisms and all that. They have some cool stuff. I mean, me being a true crime guy, Jeffrey Dahmer, if you guys know the serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer. Danny and Lauren actually own one of the forks that was confiscated from his apartment when he was originally arrested. So we don't know what that fork was used for, but those are the things that they have. And Danny actually makes talking boards out of old wood that wasn't used for caskets. But their knowledge of the paranormal is unbelievable. So
has he advertised that on Facebook? I feel like I've seen a photo of that.
Yes, they do. And it looks like Lauren's birthday is July 16th also. So go figure. So
Yeah.
Yes, the problematic items is what they're referred to as. They get rid of those. If anybody has a problematic item in their home, they will go and get rid of it for you and put it in a safe place, aka their home. And they're building some stuff in their home. It's almost to the point where they're building it up, and they've had some plans to make it a like an Airbnb kind of thing, like a bed and breakfast is what they refer to it as. So, and I hope that works out for them. So I know they've been trying to get that to go, and there's been some ups and downs with it. But once they get it going, I think that's something you guys in Japan, if you come over, you would have to experience, because it is amazing. So these guys are known throughout the country. Everybody knows who they are. They do a lot of the Paracons, and they're very good friends of mine. Usually when we do the Salem Paracon, there's a bunch of us that go on Airbnb and hang out for the weekend, and we do the event, and we just have that time where we sit there just before we all go to sleep to get up the next day to do the event, hang out and talk about weird stuff. So it's great. So
I love that. You know,
it wouldn't be
Salem 7, baby. There it is.
It wouldn't be a convention, whether it's Connecticut or Salem or anything we put on of that level, if it didn't have Lauren and Danny there. You know, from the beginning, we're very special people.
Is there another spirit, Irene? Is that why your cat?
Yeah, he's sitting here.
Your cat's picking up on me. So just so you know.
I was gonna say, I know it sounds weird, but that cat is 26 human years. It can also see spirits. A lot of times when you see the cat on the podcast, it means it sees the spirit.
Wow.
If it doesn't like the spirit, it sits in front of the camera and it won't let me look through the camera.
Love you too, Lauren. You're the best. So.
You'll just see like a cat face looking at you.
Yeah. I have 2 cats of my own. So I have the door closed right now. If I didn't have the door closed, they'd probably be sitting with me too. They're very sensitive also. It's funny, we'll be watching a TV show, and then all of a sudden I'll feel like something weird, and I'll turn, and the cat's turning at the same time. It senses the same thing. So it's almost like we play off each other, you know, my 2 cats. So it very, very fun to be able to experience that with my fur babies. So, you know.
Yeah, she'll even tell you that she brought it to the vet, and the vet's like, I don't know what to do with this cat anymore. It's too old to shot.
The vet will say, what am I supposed to do? Well, just give him a check over. He goes, okay, your check over is done. Okay, nothing I can do about him. You know, he's too old for shots. He's too old for anything.
Oh, but he's still beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, he's giving you the old head bump. When you get the head bump, that's the big thing. That way you know that cat, that's your cat when they give you the head bump. You know. So.
You know what? There's another thing. I think birthdays have something to do with I don't know, certain paranormal things that you can see things if you're born on a certain day. I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm trying to go into it deeper because my son was born July 13th. And it was a Friday when he was born.
Wow.
Yeah. He sees a lot of stuff. He doesn't want to do anything anymore in the paranormal because what happened to him younger.
It might be through your family, though. I mean, your kids so it might be something. Was it your mom or your grandmother? Because you said
my mom
learned about a lot of the, especially Japanese paranormal. She learned a lot of it through her mom. So like it's probably through that side of the family that.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Somebody wants to read Danny's future. So. Yeah, good luck with that. So yeah, he's an open-minded skeptic. So but, I love the dude.
You know, I like skeptics because it keeps us intact and saying not everything is paranormal. I agree with that, right?
That's why
you have to question it. You can believe in it, but you have to question it every step of the way.
Yeah.
And So yeah, Lori's like, yeah, good luck with that. Yeah, exactly. We've all known each other for a little bit, so we're pretty well versed with each other's personalities and
I
stuff.
believe that, it could be the window open, it could be the wind, or it could be something, in the room that's doing that. I believe in that too. So it keeps
that's
us.
why I love it when teams have a skeptic on their team, just because it kind of keeps them in check of they're the ones working the hardest to prove everyone wrong. It's not paranormal, and they're like, it's this, guys. It's this. It's not paranormal.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you can see, Danny just said the amazing Kreskin tried to read him, but said there was nothing in his brain. So, and his wife agrees. I don't agree with you. Danny's one of the smartest people I've ever met, and yeah, he's got some great knowledge. He's got great humor, and when you have that makes you such a good person, and that's why we like to surround ourselves in our little circles of trust. And it's hard to do in this business, but
it
Charles
really
and I, that's why Charles and I always have them at these events, because they're people we could depend on to entertain and have that knowledge and do those things. And I love those guys. I would do anything for them, and there's very few people I would do anything for in this world, and there are a couple of them. So I'm glad they're watching tonight, and you guys should have them on at some time. So you'll be very, very entertained. So
Charles, you have back problems, don't you?
I do not.
That means you're probably gonna develop.
Don't mess with his back. I need him. We need to lift tables and move stuff.
I play basketball 3 times a week. Yeah. Baseball on weekends. I can't have back problems. That would devastate me.
Yeah.
Not now, but it's going to happen later on.
Yeah. I think
when I'm 95, it's okay.
Yeah. Charles, did your dad have back problems?
He had sciatica.
Exactly. That's where it's coming from, Irene. So you're picking up on his dad's back problem.
I hate that.
Yeah, it happens, but that's the way it is. As we interpret things, that's the people that they get the wrong idea when people are psychic mediums. When you pick up information, and you have to interpret it as it's coming.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you ask enough questions, it feels like, oh, this is the person, but no, it's the person coming through to give the message.
Yeah.
For Charles to know his dad's there.
Yeah.
You talk about back problems, and Charles knew he had sciatic problems. So that's another thing to confirm that his dad's around him. So, not that anything's wrong with that, Irene. You're picking up on the right stuff. It's just a matter of interpreting who's coming through and those types of things. So, but I think it's amazing. Irene, you got some very intuitive stuff for you. Both of you guys do, and I could pick up on it. Even your cat there. So your cat's probably the most intuitive out of all of us.
Yeah. He's got cataracts in his eyes, but he can still see.
I know. I could see it. I was wondering if you were going to say something.
He's got cataracts.
Yeah.
So darn old. You see, they're not supposed to live this long, right?
Yeah.
The vet does not know what to do.
Yeah.
The vet says, "What am I gonna do?" Right? He looks through his books, his medical books. He said, "He's not supposed to be living." I said, "I know. Tell me about it." He goes, "Now what am I gonna do?"
Wow, it's got to be like a world record. I think my oldest cat I ever had was 17. So.
Yeah, he's beyond his 9 lives, I think.
Yeah, he's on like 8.99.
Yeah, it's just not normal. My husband said, "Oh well, he's gonna live long." I said, "Yeah, he's gonna live a long time. Don't worry about it."
Yeah.
He said, I was putting money away for his funeral." I said, "Yeah, well, you better use it for his food because he's gonna be living a long time."
Yeah, it's funny with cats. I love cats because they're always considered familiars for certain people. Like people said cats were familiars for witches and things like that.
Yeah.
So because not only the Paracon that we're doing, the www.paracon with 2 N's, PARACONN.org.
Mm-hmm.
After that, like our next big event is the Connecticut Witch Trials Festival. That's going to be in Hartford, Connecticut. And a lot of people don't know is in Connecticut, the witch trials in Connecticut were 45 years before Salem. Hartford's our capital, and that's where some of the supposed hangings happened. And we're having it on historic Pratt Street, which is this big brick road that they could close off from the public. We're going to have a lot of people there talking about the history, and so people could learn. Of course, Lauren and Danny will be there, but that's an important part of our history and just anybody's history, that people are accused of something that wasn't actually going on because some people that are a little more wealthy and they had things going on and they wanted to blame it on somebody of a lower status. And that's still goes on today in a way. But
you want to know the history about Japan, about the witches?
Everybody has a history of it. So they do. And I'm glad that we're able to have a festival because last year they exonerated, the court system in Connecticut exonerated all those people. And we want to celebrate that. And we're hoping to raise money and awareness so they could put a monument, to remember all these people.
Which year?
What's that?
Okay, disclaimer. If you're sensitive, you don't want to listen to it, please scroll down. I have to do this because it's very sensitive. You could get upset really easily. If you get upset, please don't watch this. I'm telling the story because it's the truth and it really happened in Japan. If you gave medicine and you're not a doctor, you'd be labeled as a witch, especially if you're a woman. They'd give the same herbs to a sick person as a doctor who was male. So the samurai would capture her. They wouldn't have a trial. They label her as a witch. They burn her at the stake with her children. Her children would be killed automatically the same way, burnt alive, because they don't want the children coming after the samurai and said, "You killed my mother, so I'm going to kill you."
Disgusting.
Yeah.
And, they did that here in Japan, though, too. Like, even samurais who died in battle trying to take over the government or emperor or whatever it was back then, they'd also kill his whole entire family because they're just like, well, you cannot seek your wife or your kids cannot seek revenge for you if they no longer exist.
And because doctors were, by the shogun, doctors were male, and they're ordained by the shogun, and you're allowed to practice medicine if you're a man, but if you're a woman, nope. That's why there are a lot of more female doctors in Japan now than males. Okay.
Well, that's good because that's what needs to happen. I learned history for a reason. I learned history to teach people so these things don't happen again. A lot of people have known me, the paranormal, but true crime. I'm known for profiling historic serial killers. And when I do these types of things, especially, I don't know, Charles, I didn't tell you this, but I had a friend reach out to me who lives in South Carolina. Her name is Lee Brown. She's pretty well known in the paranormal industry, and she teaches classes at a college. So I'm going to be helping her. We're going to be teaching once a month. We're going to be teaching a class about serial killers.
Wow.
In the psychosis of it. And basically for us as human beings to be able to see that stuff, especially people that have children, and those signs of it, and to help, prevent that hopefully in the future. So, Lauren, I love Lee. Lee and I have become very good friends, and I so respect her because she's been helping me on my healing journey. And I'm getting more in touch with the shamanistic side of myself. and it's very new to me, but I've always been a healer, but it's a calling, and I never thought that I would be called to it, but you have to be called to it. You can't do some of this work unless you're called to it, and I appreciate that. I appreciate her recognizing that and helping me, and I want to help her in return, and that's what this industry is all about, having those people that you care about and being able to teach people what it's all about, whether it be true crime, whether it be paranormal. The healing journey just isn't all about paranormal. Sometimes it's everything, what we learn about traumas and things like that, ancestral, whatever.
I get a lot of people say, I wish I had gifts. I said, no, you don't.
Yeah, it is a little taxing sometimes. So
no, you don't. And they said, why? I said, because it comes with grave responsibility.
Like Spider-Man.
You just can't go willy-nilly.
Yeah.
Doing whatever you want to do, and you can't cross over any willy-nilly any person that you want to or any spirit you want to. You just can't do that, right? There's a reason why you just don't touch certain things, and there's a reason why you just don't go certain places. Well, here we don't go certain places because some places I wouldn't dare touch with hair on my chin.
Yeah.
A lot of young people has gone exploring certain places, and they wind up in the hospital and in casket the next day.
Yeah.
You don't do stupid things. That don't stick. It's why I call sticking your finger in the friggin' light socket. You don't do that.
Yeah.
In Japan. And there's some places you just meant not to touch and not to go there. I mean, I pick and choose where I want to go. I pick and choose who I help. And
look, what do we got here?
A light socket.
Yeah, don't stick your finger in that one. Yeah, a lot of people don't. Well, that's the thing is back in the day when I first met Ed, Larry, and Warren, they used to do these speeches, all these colleges, because people were playing with stuff they didn't understand. They tried to teach
people
them.
still do that.
Yeah, well, they're trying to teach them
it on TV or in a movie.
Yeah, but we're still trying to carry on that legacy of some of us old timers that have been around and made every mistake you could think of to come to this point to understand stuff better. And we try and purvey that to people, whether you learn it or not. But everybody's got to be on their own journey. You got to have to make those mistakes to learn for yourself, because you could poo-poo everything that you want. But then when something comes to call, and, I get calls all the time that somebody messed up and help them. So,
I've known a lot of people who had to get another paranormal team because the first one in their house made it worse. And it's because they opened another portal, they let something else in, and they didn't realize it because they were like, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to do a seance to try and talk to it. I'm like, you're doing stuff you don't know you don't even know what you're doing. You saw it on a movie and you're like, yeah, that's clearly how you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too many people watch TV or things like that.
Yeah.
Really what it is you have to do your due diligence. Like I said, you got to know your history of the place. You got to know what you're dealing with. You got to come up with a game plan. If you just go in thinking that, I know I watched something on TV or I watched a movie, that's not going to do it. You have to have experience. Yeah. And I think that's why it's important, like what Charles and I provide with our events, with our, historic places that we go that are supposedly haunted, and we bring people, we have a nice dinner with them. We go over the equipment, we teach them, and then we bring them in, whether they be seasoned veterans or beginners, we teach them, you know, and hopefully that they learn maybe what I consider the right way. Am I right? I don't know. Nobody's 100% right or wrong about the paranormal. I don't know. But 40 years of experience, I think that is garnered. Maybe you might want to listen because I've made every mistake in the book.
Well, actually, it could be safer. The safer way of doing it, not the right way, but the safer way of doing it more than the right way, because there is a right and there is a wrong way, and there's a safer way, and you could say there is a nasty way of going at it where you could get hurt, right? Yeah. So I'm saying the safer way of doing it so that you will come out. You won't get hurt. You won't get scratched. You won't get an attachment. You won't feel sick the next time when so you can come out tomorrow and you'll be still okay as you went in.
Yeah, well, you have to go through all that stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes, unfortunately, you have to experience it.
Yeah.
And know how you dealt with it. So if anything comes late, again, you have that arm's length where you could keep things away.
Yeah.
And I've had so many different experiences where I understand who I am, and I know I'm just a human being. And I know that it's not me doing it. It's somebody working through me.
Yeah.
My ancestors, my higher calling and all that.
Yeah.
I'm just a conduit. And that's how I help people. I have no ego when it comes to that. Because again, like I told you, it'll keep you too far away from spirit. Yeah. If you're too far away from spirit, you're helping nobody.
Yeah. And if you have issues going in, you should be doing it. Yeah. Like if your head is stuck with crazy things or crazy ideas, don't go in there and don't do it. You have to go in with a really open head and nothing in it, no issues, no garbage in your head.
Yeah.
When you go into something, because
it's called intention. It's called intention. Having the right intention and things like that. Yeah.
You may not know what's there, or you may not know how to deal with it. And it's very important that you really look at yourself before you go in there, because they can see you going in there right away. They can tell
before you leave your house you're coming.
Yeah.
They do. And I've told Charles this before, and I'll go on an investigation. It'll be a week before the investigation, and I already have spirits reaching out. And sizing me up. Waiting for me to come and see what's going to go on. And then when I get to the facility, I was like, oh, okay, that's where that came from. But I already knew ahead of time. You get enough experience with that. They like to size you up. They know you're coming. A lot of my friends, they all say the same thing. So, it's amazing. So let's just say I feel that you're the last person. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? I don't know.
Thomas, I'd like to take you to Hiroshima.
Yeah.
Because
I would love to go because I know the history of it and the tragedy of it. So.
You know what? I was sitting on the bus and they saw me coming a mile away. They said, I got you pegged. I go, yeah, you saw me. I know, but I'm going to ignore you, right? It was so like, I can see you. You can see me. I know you can see me. I go, yeah, right. Like Amanda would tell you, on her side, they'll come at you and say, so what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do about it, right?
Yeah.
Because Amanda had so many happenings to her when she was taking her dog out for a walk, and they'll come right at her face.
Yeah.
I remember the
so what are you gonna do about it, right?
I remember the first time I saw a shadow figure. I was walking my dog, and we just got here not too long ago, and I'm walking my dog, and I see it on the side of the road, just standing there staring at me, and I'm not usually shadow figures don't stay still and stare at you, so I'm just like, is this? And I'm like, looking around, I'm like, is this real? Is this actually happening? But my dog at the time was still, she just turned 2, so she still had a lot of the puppy things, where especially when she would see a person, she thinks everyone on earth wants to pet her and be her friend and play with her. So anytime she saw a person, she would always, try and go run over there to them, and always wants to sniff whoever. And she was acting like she saw it too. She's acting like there was a person there. I'm like, okay, my dog sees it, so it's there.
Yeah.
And after when we met, she messaged me and goes, "What am I gonna do?" I said, "Where'd you see it?" I said, "Where'd you see it? Where is it?" I said, Next time, just take a picture
Yeah.
of it for me.
Energy wise, Lauren, it is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think anytime you go to a facility, whether it be the beaches of Normandy, whether it be Pearl Harbor, where I was, anywhere where there was a lot of loss of life, it's sudden. There's a lot of spirits that haven't moved on yet.
Yeah.
But for me to go there, just the way I am, it's a lot of energy, and a lot of people don't want to deal with it. But for me, being the type of guy I am, I want to go in headlong to those places. I want to see how many people can I help before I leave this spot for the day.
Yeah.
Who could I communicate? Who wants to tell me their story? Who needs to know that they're not here anymore? Who needs to get the words to make the decision to move on? Yeah. I think that's important. Do we fear it? Yeah, there's so much energy going on in us as humans and how we pick it up and with our sense. It's overwhelming, but we have to stick in there. It's like these guys did on 9/11. Those firefighters knew when they went up that building, they may not be coming home, but they did it. They did it to help others. And that's us as we pick up those things. We need to help the living and the dead get through this life.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the crap you see on TV or anything like
No.
that.
No.
We're in a different time. Things are changing in the paranormal towards helping others, whether they be the living and the dead. Get away from the fear. Let people know that, hey, you know, you don't have to be here anymore. Make that decision for yourself if you want to move on or not. If you don't do that, you know, we need to change the way the energy of our world is working right now, because I really firmly believe that crap ain't working right now.
Nope.
Anybody's country. And it needs to get changed. And I think it has to do with the positive and negative, the yin yang that we need to deal with.
It's a total mess.
Yeah.
It's a friggin' mess what it is right now. And everyone needs to chill. Take a chill pill. Actually, as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly. They need to come. They need to come and hang out at the Paracon.
Yeah. Go ahead and go to Paracon. And on
July
that note, guys,
21st in Stratford, Connecticut. Come and see us.
Yes, go ahead and repeat that, because it is getting late, so I'm going to let you guys go. If you want to go ahead and repeat it for anyone who just
go
get
ahead,
their
Charles.
coffee or tuning in, or in case they didn't write down before.
I've talked too much, so let Charles give us the rundown. So.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's Paracon in Connecticut, New England, the East Coast of the U.S. www.paraconn, Paracon with 2 N's, because it's Connecticut.org, not .com. And it's July 20th and 21st. And a lot of other great events coming up, but that's the one we're really pushing right now.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we'll definitely have you guys on again so we can continue this conversation. I'm sure we could talk for hours, so we'll definitely have you on again.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Thank you so
Love
much.
talking to you.
And we'll be looking forward to it. And everyone who tuned in, thank you so much for listening. And we'll see them another time if they want to come back on.
Yes.
You can definitely come back on. So hopefully we'll see you guys next time. Bye for now.
Zoe, touch.